Alright everyone, today I'm going to tell you about something so completely absurd and so unhinged you might believe it. Let me introduce you to the Carrot Cottage rabbit charity controversy. You might as well grab yourself a cup of tea and a carrot if you fancy it. The Carrot Cottage rabbit charity is a small rabbit sanctuary based in Wales, and the owners built it from scratch by themselves, which I absolutely love. And they take in homeless or disabled or abandoned rabbits or rabbits in need of care. And to top it off, they give their rabbits cute names like Robert, Albert and Maud. They even post cute pictures of their rabbits every day. So what's not to like about them? How could anyone possibly have a problem with a bunny rabbit rescue charity? And you know what's coming up. You know who has a problem with this. Enter the special people who have risen to us from the heavens and the skies and the universe in angel form that we cannot understand because we are not enlightened enough to be able to perceive the greatness of these people who are special and better than us, who are the most oppressed people, the most oppressed, persecuted minority humanity has ever known, the most sacred people that this planet has ever experienced, the trans people, the people who shall not be disobeyed. These people currently have absolutely nothing better to do than to go after a bunny rabbit charity. So here's what happened. A couple of weeks ago, we were witness to the absolute fresh slice of insanity when a bunny rabbit charity was caught in the crosshairs of rabid trans activists. Now you might be wondering, Birdie, what have they done? Just tell us, what have they done wrong? I'll tell you what they've done wrong. They followed someone on social media that apparently they weren't supposed to be following. That's right, they followed a heretic, a TERF as it is known, a woman who knows what a woman is. They dared to follow this ghastly woman on social media, and when the holy, enlightened, better than us species of trans people noticed this and made just a very reasonable, kind, polite and compassionate public demand for the Bunny Rabbit Rescue Charity to disavow, unfollow, denounce the TERF accounts that they were following. I mean, who could say no to that? And one of these enlightened trans species wrote,
"Hey, so Carrot Cottage openly follows numerous anti-trans accounts. I hope nobody is in support of mine and so many other trans people death." Which
I absolutely love. I tell you why I love this, okay? I don't love death. What I love is hyperbole. That's how you say it, isn't it? The bowl of hyper. I love it. I just think it's great. I think it's hilarious for starters. It's very entertaining. It's so theatrical, and I just wonder how anyone can take any of this seriously, because there's absolutely no way anyone actually believes that if a bunny rabbit rescue charity doesn't unfollow a so-called TERF, a woman who knows what a woman is, on the internet, these special trans species will die. Nobody actually believes that, and that's what makes it so gloriously pathetic. I actually think as well that this sort of narrative is so stupid that it's stupid on purpose, because then people feel uncomfortable challenging it because they don't feel like you should challenge someone who's so stupid that hard. So then the Carrot Cottage rabbit charity refused to do as they were told, and as we already know, when you refuse to do as you're told and you've got a woke mob after you, all hell breaks loose. The tantrum of all tantrums, the tantrum is coming, and you better fucking be ready for it, because they don't let up and they're gonna throw the biggest cry-bully toddler tantrum you've ever seen, and that's exactly what happened. So the Rabbit Rescue Charity said, "We followed back, that's it. I'm not allowing people to turn our page or our rescue into a debate about human problem." And then they said, "We don't judge people, it's just about bunnies." And they also said this: "When setting up a charity, you make a governance document. That document states the aims of your charity. This one happens to be about saving bunnies. What I do in my personal time or my personal views are irrelevant here." So what I love about this is that it's just about rabbits. They're a bunny rabbit charity that's just about bunnies. They're not going to talk about human issues. They're not going to talk politics, they're apolitical, they're a charity. And when the trans species come down from the heaven to tell the charity what to do, and the charity disobeyed, they were just sticking by their principles of not taking a political stance. And I'll back them for that. Do you know what? If somebody was to say, look, hey up, this page is not political, I'm not getting involved, this ain't about politics, this is about art, or this ain't about politics, this is about rabbits, this ain't about politics, this is just about motorbikes, this ain't about politics, it's about knitting, whatever it happens to be, why can't people just respect that? Wait a minute. Silly me, I forgot that the trans angels have come to us to cross all of our boundaries, because that's apparently what's good for us. But imagine that though, a bunny rabbit charity that's just about rabbits and not about anything else. Mental, absolutely mental. And you know, if you're familiar with the culture wars in any sort of capacity, and you've been around the trans mob and you've seen what happens when you cross the trans angels, the angelic mob of kind people, you will be aware that once you cross them, there's not really a lot of going back. You've got two choices. You can apologise and get burned at the stake, or you can stand your ground and get burned at the stake. Your choice. On the surface of it, it feels like you lose either way, but in the long run, I would say standing your ground is the win. But that's just my personal opinion. What happened when the rabbit charity refused to comply? The mob escalated, as they always do. Come on, this is completely predictable. And they relentlessly attacked, both publicly and privately, this rabbit charity. They even went to the Charity Commission and made false claims against them to try and have their charity status removed. So these people, you know, they're obviously the kind people who are just doing this out of compassion, trying to get a charity commission to remove the charity status of a bunny rabbit charity, because of course not just running a bunny rabbit rescue charity out of business, but destroying it is definitely 100% the way to save trans kids' lives, and definitely the right side of history. Because if you ain't taking down a bunny rabbit charity, are you even a good person? No sirree, you're definitely the worst kind of Hitler there is. I do like how the rabbit charity have handled this. They've kept themselves apolitical, they've fought back, they've stood their ground and said, no, we ain't getting dragged into this bullshit, we're just focusing on rabbits. Look at Bruce. Amazing. I love their approach. I love the way they've handled it with grace and a bit of humour. Let's take a quick moment to appreciate the absurdity of the situation here. These weirdos are so obsessed with their cult and the ideology, the teachings of their cult, the scripture, that they're out here harassing a bunny rabbit charity for not obeying them. There's going to be a lot of people out there that won't believe this happened. It did. And I have a personal story actually. Several years ago, when I was first getting cancelled, an animal sanctuary that was local to me that I had actually done some artwork for contacted me. And they contacted me privately to let me know that they had liked one of my paintings on Facebook, and they had no idea what was going on with the cancellation around me or what was happening. They just liked a painting, and because of that, my stalkers and a local group of people boycotted this charity. They withdrew their funding and they encouraged others to withdraw their funding too, and as a result this charity suffered a significant loss of regular income that it was having from these people who, by the way, are vegans and animal rights activists, but they boycotted an animal sanctuary just because one person there liked one of my paintings. There was no discussion to be had. You couldn't apologise to these people and move on. No, the sin had already been committed. There's no going back from it. And it was really kind of heartbreaking to hear the story. And I did offer at the time to speak up on behalf of this sanctuary and say, why? Why is this happening? Just what, because they liked the painting? Get a grip, get over yourself. But the animal sanctuary politely asked me not to say anything, as they did not want to draw any more trouble to their sanctuary. They didn't want to bring that negativity, and they didn't want to suffer any more losses, because really it's Not just the sanctuary suffering, it's the animals. These vegan animal rights activists who care about everyone so much, who are so kind and compassionate, were willing to take it out on the animals because what? You don't like someone. That is how pathetic and low these people go. So I wasn't surprised at all when I saw the rabbit charity getting the stick that they got, because I know how low these weirdos go. I know how low they'll go, because this ain't about being compassionate or kind or caring about trans. This is about control. It's about control and compliance, and they don't just want you to pretend to agree with them. They want you to obey them. And this is what I don't get, why people don't understand this. Time and time again, we're seeing examples of control being exerted over people. It's about controlling you, not just what you say, but what you think. You will get to a point, if you concede to even a centimetre of this, you will get to a point where you will not even allow yourself to think truthfully, because you're worried that you will speak truthfully, and that isn't allowed. That isn't acceptable to these people. We can't live like this. As a society, it's not sustainable. It always ends badly. In the whole of history, when shit like this goes down, it ends terribly. So we've got to stand up to it as much as possible. And when I see a bunny rabbit charity stand up to it in such a courageously graceful and gentle way, and just saying, no, we're apolitical, leave us alone, this is just about the rabbits, I can't help but feel encouraged by that. Because as much as I want people to go, fuck you, we ain't having it, sometimes the polite approach is best. I will say that. Like, you don't have to be a gobshite all the time. Sometimes just politely and quietly asserting your boundaries is way more effective. And then, you know, sometimes we do need the gobshite, so we need a bit of both. I don't think it would have served a rabbit charity very well to be a gobshite and mouth off and start saying fuck you, but it did serve them extraordinarily well to politely assert themselves as an apolitical charity, which, by the way, you're supposed to be. If you're a charity, you're not allowed to be political. Okay, Stonewall? It's sad and indicative of how spiteful and vindictive and vicious these kind people are. And I think the tables are slowly turning. I think politically and institutionally, they've got their fingers in everything. But I think culturally, people have had enough. They're sick of it. They're sick of being told what they can say, sick of being told what they can think, sick of being told who they're allowed to speak to, who they're allowed to associate with. People are just fucking sick of it. The funniest thing about them reporting the charity to the Charity Commission is that I read that they had reported them for things like transphobia, which doesn't exist, and homophobia, which, on what planet would a rabbit be homophobic if we're going to pick on the rabbits for this? Do you know what I mean? Because it's the rabbits who are taking the hit, isn't it? And anti-Semitism, which is really rich coming from the wokies right now. And what made me laugh about it, and no, it's not just what made me laugh about it, it's life advice time. Not that anybody who needs this is going to be watching, but here's my life advice. If you're going to go after a charity maliciously and you're going to lie about them to the Charity Commission, just choose one lie that you can remember and stick to it, and stick to that story, because otherwise you lose track of your lies and you forget which one you're accusing them of, and you might look like a total knob. So, you know, this is an absolutely mental story. And of course, the infamous trans activist Aidan Camembert, he's actually had a lot to say about it. He wasn't happy at all. Him and India Willy Boy both wrote statuses accusing the rabbit charity of being Nazis, having a go about how TERFs, women who know what a woman is, are so nice to animals, and Hitler liked animals, so therefore they're like Hitler and they're Nazi, just like Ricky Gervais. It was hilarious. The meltdowns have been brilliant. And Aidan Camembert also said that he was going to see the rabbit charity in court and he'd like to see them back them up. I took that as a sort of him announcing to the public that he's going to be suing them. So I look forward to that. I'd love to see somebody sue a rabbit charity. Incredible waste of resources, but brilliant entertainment for the rest of us. And I'll definitely make a video about it, and I'll definitely chip in for the crowdfunder for the rabbit charity if they ever need it. Most of us are absolutely sick of the mob mentality and sick of the cry bullying and sick of being bossed around and pushed around by these arseholes. So let's be clear, this ain't about fighting for justice or equality or for trans lives or for anything other than control. This is about power and control over you and your life and your mind and your mouth. Don't let them have it. Don't let them take it from you. Even if you're a bunny rabbit charity, even if you're just a nobody who's minding your own business and don't want anything to do with it, don't let them control your tongue. It ain't theirs, it's yours. The entire trans movement ain't about protecting anyone. It's about forcing everyone to comply and pledge allegiance to their ideology or face the consequences. Who else does that? Who else threatens people? Who else blackmails people? Who else extorts people? It ain't the good guys. It's never the good guys. And when you see them targeting something as innocent as a bunny rabbit charity, you realise how far into the madness they've gone, that they're not even self-aware enough to recognise that this is a bad thing to do, that they actually went, you know what, we're gonna go after a bunny rabbit charity, and everybody else went, that's a great idea because that would never make us look bad. Absolute dipshits. Here's the good news. The more absurd they get, the more outrageous they get, the more angry, the more faux outrage they have, the more people wake up to it. And the social media lately has been buzzing with thousands and thousands of people. I mean, the rabbit charity gained about 20,000 followers off of this. Thousands of people willing to back them up, stand by them and help them out because they are so sick of this shit. So maybe, just maybe, the trans mob picked the wrong people to fight with this time. Despite being viciously attacked and maliciously reported to the charity commission, the Bunny Rabbit Rescue Charity has done an outstanding job of gracefully standing up for themselves and withholding their boundaries as a charity. And I, for one, love that about them. And I love that every day they've posted updates and pictures about their rabbit. And I think what they're doing is brilliant. Shameless self-promotion time. I made some artwork about it. If you want to help support this rabbit charity, please donate or buy some merch. I and another artist, I'll put his name down below, have donated art for them to sell on their merch to raise money for the rabbits, and I think it is absolutely smashing. So my message to the kind people out there, leave the fucking bunny rabbits alone, you freak. See you later.
Early in the morning, as the sun comes up, I just wanna have a cup. There's one drink, that's the one for me. Won't you please make me a cup of tea?